Hello, and welcome back to the Bober Academy Football Podcast. I am your host, Chris Bober, 8-year NFL veteran, 4 years with the Giants, 4 years with the Chiefs, and I had the distinction of starting a game at every position on the O-line while I was in the NFL. I'm also the founder of Bober Academy, where our mission is to train and develop superior linemen to dominate on the gridiron. And we are continuing our Lineman of the Week series. We got the Gretna East Griffins in here today. But before we get going, I just want to give a quick reminder that if you're watching this on YouTube, right down there is a subscribe button. You can click that bell for notifications whenever we drop a new episode or a new video about offensive line play or anything football. If you are listening to this podcast on one of your podcast devices, please subscribe to the channel. And then, of course, our handle is at Bober Academy on all the social media, TikTok, Twitter, all that fun stuff out there. So be sure to follow, like, comment, retweet, all that kind of fun stuff. So like I said, we are moving on this week to talk with the Gretna East Griffins, who are having a great season, off to a 6-1 start. They have a couple of big games coming up. So today we have the O-line coach Blevins here, right? Yes. And then we have it says Liam down there, but we have seniors, offensive linemen, Liam, Norton, and John Rodriguez, who they're so close because they play left guard and left tackle. They just need one phone. Right. And they're even we were talking about this. They're even lined up next to each other, just like they do on the field. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast tonight to talk about the O-line and your program.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So, like we talked about, Gretna East is, they're a fairly new school, right? I think this is their fourth season. Is that right, Coach?
It's our third season.
Third season. Wow. Yeah. And Gretna East as a school has done really, really well, right? Gretna had a ton of kids. I know Gretna East had a lot of sports, has really excelled. The girls have done amazing. You've seen a program like the football program that has really rose to prominence very early. And I know it's hard because a lot of times you start out, you don't get to have seniors and things like that. But they're off to a 6-1 record this year with the only loss to Bennington. So, Coach, tell me about this 2025 season, right? Going into it and then how it's progressed so far. Tell me from the program perspective, what's 2025 been for you guys?
Well, the great thing as a line coach is we've got guys with a lot of experience, and you know how valuable that is. We've got multiple 3-year starters, couple 2-year starters, and having that going into a season just makes everything a lot easier for you because the install goes quicker. There's great leadership up front, and we knew right away coming into the season that our O-line was going to need to be a strength of this program. And, those guys put in the work, they've stepped up, and they've done just that.
Nice. You know what I call it, that football players in high school, they need to have varsity scar tissue, right?
Yes, sir.
They got it. There's no substitute for getting good at football other than playing football. And one of the advantages of having a young program is that in the beginning, you had to play young guys. And I know sometimes that's hard. As a coach, I know it's frustrating, but usually it pays off in the end. All right, guys, I'm going to talk to you. How about Liam so far? Tell me about this. Is your senior year, right? You're part of this foundation of building a program there at Gretna East. Tell me about your senior year. How it's gone so far?
I think it's going great. I'm having fun, and I think we have a good chance to make it far. So, yeah.
Yeah, see, senior year. I obviously been there the whole time. I know you both play on offense and defense. I have watched the film definitely. How about you, John? I know you had the honor of getting elected a captain for your team. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Being elected a captain is one of the true honors. I've been able to have a lot of awards and achievements, but being elected team captain is one of the greatest honors I've had. So tell me about being a captain of this team. Obviously you're a young program, but you got a lot of experience. Tell me about you as a captain, and tell me about the leadership on your team.
I think we have great leadership. I think we have a lot of guys that step up every day, and whenever they see something wrong, they correct it. Being a captain is one of the greatest experiences I've had in my life. It's really helped me grow as a person. And, if I see something wrong going on the team, now I feel like I have to say something instead of just wanting to say something. And it's really been great.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. There really is nothing like leading that team and, going out there for that coin toss and all that kind of fun stuff. And it's a great honor to be a captain, obviously, on doing that. Who are the other captains?
Connor Sams, Seth Craigle, and this guy right next to me.
Oh, he's a captain too?
Yeah.
Awesome. I apologize for that, but when I was looking stuff up, it for some reason it didn't have you down there as a captain. But to have the whole left side, man, I played left tackle and left guard in college, and we used to always have a big old thing about left side, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome to see the bond of you guys coming on here together, and both of you as captains. So congratulations to both of you. All right, Coach. We can talk about the team, and we talked a little bit about it. We'll talk about other guys here, but I'm an offensive coach, right? Right. I help the run game, coordinate, coach the offensive line, play offensive line. Let's talk about the Griffin offense, right? Tell me about what you guys do. What's your philosophy? What's your personality, and who is your identity as an offense, and some of the guys you guys have out there.
Well, I'm an old school gap scheme guy, and when we started this program, we had a lot of young guys, and with some young guys and not a lot of strength, sometimes that's tough to be a gap scheme team. So we came in. I adopted a lot of the things from the year I coached at Midland University, and the things from Coach Jamrog's program, and installed that into this offense, and the guys bought into it. It wasn't always smooth at times, but I think they're seeing it now. It was about right after week 3 last year, right, guys, that we had a little heart to heart about our offense and just execution of that offense. And since then, man, we've got playmakers all over the field. We try to get guys the ball in space. We've got receivers that can make people miss. We've got a running back, obviously, who's a dog. Our offensive line is strong. Our quarterback is not only a great athlete and mobile, but just throws a great football too. So just the install of the offense is just we've kept it pretty simple to start and added things each year, and we're getting a little more complicated right now. Ask J Rod, he'll turn around and look at me like I'm crazy every now and then, but we're starting to get a little more complicated with things, and I'm asking them to be those linemen that have been 3-year starters, because with those guys I can say, hey, you know what, this is what we're going to do. You guys get it. I know you guys can handle this, and these guys have done a good job of just taking off with that and trusting the coach.
Yeah, and you can make some in-game adjustments with guys that aren't phased by that, which is nice, right? You get them over on the sideline. And I know these guys play defense, so right, you catch them like during the kickoff return or punt return, and you got about a minute to get that adjustment made, and guys like this can make it happen. I got to give a shout out to Coach Jamrog, who was a coach at UNO when I was there, so I know Coach Jamrog really well. A very interesting guy, but heck of a coach. Had a huge win. Biggest comeback last week. So glad to see him doing a local boy, Elkhorn guy. I love Coach Jamrog. Okay, so tell me about your play. Kind of your playmakers on offense, and then we'll get the boys' opinion on that too. I know. Your running backs running for a lot of yards. It sounds like your quarterback's doing well. Tell me about those guys.
So Connor's over 1,100 yards already. I think he's up there leading Class B. A couple games ago he averaged 19.2 yards a carry. He's a kid that's committed to Air Force. Nice. He can turn a 3-yard gain into a 60-yard touchdown at any time. So we like to get him the ball in a lot of different ways. Chase Grow at quarterback. He's a guy with some legs too, both track athletes, both state qualifiers in track. Chase can do the same thing. So you can do a lot of split backfield stuff where Connor's going one way, Chase is going the other, and that causes some problems for defenses. Then Carson Herman at tight end, not only, you'll appreciate this, not only a guy that can catch a football and run great routes, but I think he's third in pancakes on our team right now. He takes a lot of pride in putting guys on their backside. He had 33 last year. I think he's like 26 or 27 already this year. But also a dangerous guy in the passing game. We've got Seth Craigle out at receiver, returner for us. I call him playmaker. So when I see him in the hallway, fist pump him as playmaker. And then we've got a couple young guys out there too. Caleb Tesmer and Quinn Barra, first year guys, really starting for us. Quinn played a little bit last year, but Caleb's a sophomore. Both those guys, you get them the ball in space, they're going to make the first guy miss every time. So they're really dangerous out there as well.
Yeah, so a lot of weapons out there, and I gotta say I love the pancake thing. I do a thing with my guys every week that if they get a certain amount of pancakes, we meet on Tuesday mornings, and I bring them pancakes to the meeting. So guys
I
hit a certain threshold, and we actually bring them pancakes. So I love that O-line coach like yourself, like myself, that counts that as a stat, right? That's our stat as linemen.
Yep, we give them stickers every week for each pancake. We give them a king of the trenches each week for not only offense but defensive line.
Yeah.
Pancakes are, these guys bought into it, and my mantra is finish. And the cool thing is, I had a couple players that from my days of coaching at Westside that were at the last game, and they came down after the game. They said, "Hey, coach, we saw those guys finishing blocks and finishing after the whistle, and we could just hear you, and we remember what you used to say." And I can tell you're still teaching them, and these guys, these two right here, just do a great job of it. I think Liam, you got 43 on the year, and I think J Rod, you're in the 30s, mid 30s, probably.
Yeah.
Both these guys put a lot of guys on their backside.
Nice. I love it, man. That's kind of the glory for linemen. Okay, so John, why don't you tell me about your running back? Right, you got a pretty special dude back there. Tell me about what it's like blocking for him.
I mean, Connor's a great dude. I've been friends with him for years, even before we were teammates. But I mean, if I had to describe him in one word, it'd be violent. He runs like he wants to punish whoever tries to tackle him, and he just refuses to go down. I've seen him fly over my blocks and jump to try and reach that first down. He's a great back, and he's really what helps us, keep fighting late in those games, seeing him work for those tough yards, and he's the key to our offense. He's a great player.
Nice. That's awesome, man. And he's having a great year. Looks like he's kind of taking the load and following you guys. And I just want to give a quick shout out here to John and Liam. For some reason, my center and my guards get most of the pancakes. It's harder to tackle. You're out in space a little bit more, but so I got to take that into account a little bit. Okay, although when I play tackle, I got a lot of pancakes too. Liam, tell me about your quarterback. Right, tell me about him. What was his name again?
Chase Grow.
And what year is he?
He's a junior, class of 27.
Awesome. Tell me about your quarterback. What's it? The quarterback has such a responsibility of being that guy that has to control the huddle. Tell me about what your quarterback's like in the huddle.
I think he's smart. He knows exactly what he's doing for every position, and I think his legs, his speed helps him a lot too. He can run away, escape the pocket. I think that helps him out a lot. So, yeah.
It's nice. It helps you guys out too, right?
Yeah.
Move around a little bit, makes it a little exciting. That's awesome, man. Sounds like you guys have a lot of great playmakers out there that follow this O-line. But Coach, let's talk about your O-line, right? We got two of the guys here. You can of course talk about them, but tell me about the other guys that are contributing up front for you guys.
Well, we've got a kid, Colton Nicholson at center, who when we start training centers in the summer, ask these guys, everybody's snapping, and it's like a dance contest. If they're bad, I'll tap them on the shoulder and say, "You're done, you're good." But you know what? Everyone's snapping in the summer, and Liam's done it. But Colton's 100%. I tell you, you got to be 100%. There's no 99% on your snaps. You're 100%, and you know what? You got to be the leader, the general of that offensive line.
Yeah.
He's a smart kid, great kid, works his tail off. He's that kid that's just always going. He's got a great motor. So, he's been really, really good for us. He moved in there last year for Caden Boyer, and we moved Boyer out to tackle. So Caden Boyer, again, 3-year starter for us. He started as a freshman. Caden Boyer is just a hard working dude, man. He sweats more than anybody I've ever met, but he's a dude that works hard. He's your prototypical guy that you want to coach. Just all in on the offensive line, defensive line, and just loves everything about it. And then Logan Wilson at guard. He moved in last year for us at right guard. And Logan's a guy that people are going to have their eyes on. He's a 6'2" kid. But the most impressive thing that coaches are going to like at the next level is his wingspan. So he got long arms. And last year he took some lumps and wasn't the finisher that I wanted him to be. But I think he's second on the team in pancakes now. He's been chasing Liam all year, and he's taken a lot of pride in that. He's becoming more physical, more aggressive, and at just a junior, we'll have him and Caden Boyer both another year. So that's exciting, to know that we've got those guys coming back. These two dudes right here, just been an absolute pleasure to coach these guys. I mean, they're the guys that buy into the Hogs mentality. J Rod gives the Hogs a little pregame speech before every game in the locker room before we walk out. Uh, just a great leader of men and a great role model and just a fantastic person. Liam, same thing. Liam's the meanest dude and probably the strongest high school athlete I've ever met. I mean, you put something on a bar and that kid's going to lift it. He'll power clean it. He'll bench it. He'll squat it. Just a definition of just a meathead guy. And if you watch him on film, you'll see that he gets warned for blocking after the whistle every game.
Yeah.
When I give him a hard time about it, I think I gave him a hard time last week or this week, and he goes, "Coach, that was my first penalty." Like, you know what? I'll take that. So I always tell the guys, you know what? If you get that penalty for blocking after the whistle, that's on me. I'll take it because that's what they're taught. And these two guys right here, they do it.
Love it, man. I love when you talk about your lineman, how you basically you have a tryout for center just to see who can have the best snap. And the funny thing is, when I played in the NFL, I hadn't played center since high school, and our center got hurt, and the backup center, him and the quarterback just could not get the exchange down. And I was slated to start at tackle. I said, Coach, I can play center. Next thing you know, I'm starting center. I ended up starting center for several years. So that snap's the most important part of starting the play. I love your philosophy and okay. Tell you what, how about Liam? Tell me a little bit about your personality of your line, right? Tell me from the inside. Coach leads it, but I know the line has their own kind of thing. Tell me about it.
I think I have a good mindset. Like on the field, I'm like physical. I have a good mindset. I always go 100%. Like off the field, I'm like down to earth, quiet, laid back, and I think I'm like dedicated. So yeah.
Nice. What about some of your guys that you're out there playing with on the O line? Is there anyone you want to kind of point out as? I mean, Coach talked about one of your guys that sweats so much, but what's some other inside story on some of your linemen? You guys can both chime in here, man. I mean, as long as it's clean, you can say it here, and this is your chance to kind of put it out there, kind of who you guys are.
I think as a line, we're two things. We're perfectionists and we're arsonists, right? We got to get everything right. If a missed block happens, it's always it's on me, and it's always you never find out in the film room. You find out on the sideline. And then every time that we can lock onto a guy, we just want to murder him, punish them until they want to quit. I think we just want to every play do our job and do it so well that we beat up the other team.
Yeah, you want to kind of take their soul, right? I love that perfectionists and artists. And I've watched some film, man. I was researching this and watching some of the highlight films, and there's a lot of guys on the ground. I love it. I love the way you guys finish, and I love how you guys think about yourself. All right, Coach. You guys got a big week this week, right? We're talking on Wednesday night. I know you guys got a big game tomorrow night against Elkhorn North. Tell me about how your preparation has been this week.
You know what? We've been laser focused. We don't really care who we play. Every week we build up the team we're going to play against, and we focused on their best players and their playmakers, and we focused on one of the big things I focus on as the OC is who makes the most tackles on the other side of the ball. And we got to take care of those guys. We got to make some other guys make tackles for once. And last year, you know what? It was a close game. We ended up losing by 4, and we spotted them 28 points. So in the first 40 plays of the game. We made so many mistakes on offense that we just gave them the ball inside the 34 times. Our focus for this week is execution, no mistakes, no penalties, and make them beat us and not beat ourselves.
Nice. How about you, John? What's your message going into this week? A big matchup, team that was previously undefeated, one of the top teams in Class B. What's your approach like this week?
I think, I like to approach every team the same, but this team does require that little extra effort and that little extra focus. A saying I like is if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. So you can't be afraid of any opponent, and we got to know that our goal is a state championship, and that's not going to happen unless we can go out and execute against good teams. So I'm excited for the opportunity, and I'm ready to get back into some competitive football.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. How about you, Liam? I want to ask you. I know Coach is saying we're going to go 1-0 this week. That's a saying I love, right? We're in our district now. We want to go 1-0 every week, but you also have a big game coming up against Gretna, and not to look past tomorrow's game, but that's a pretty big one for you guys too, coming up to finish the season, right?
Yep.
Yep, I love it. He's not going to say much about it.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, Coach. As we kind of get towards wrapping up here, as I do this, one of the questions I like to ask at the end is a lot of teams will like have a slogan or a saying for a year. My son played for Coach Wortman at Elkhorn, and he had something every year, right? A lot of coaches out there have it. Do you guys have something like that this year? Is it like unfinished business or, anything like that you guys kind of hang your hat on?
Well, we do a cultural roadmap, and what's been from the very start of our program is brick by brick. So when they built the school, they did it brick by brick, and we're kind of building it brick by brick right now. And these guys laid the foundation for that. So that's kind of been our motto. But this year, a lot of it is do your job. So we've moved on to kind of do your job, and you hear that a lot out of Coach Haberman and all the coaching staff. And if guys go out there and do their job and execute's been a huge word for us this year. Good things are going to happen because we've got the right pieces of the puzzle in place.
I love it. That's one of my mantras too. I have 3 things for my linemen. I say you need to show up, you need to do your job, and you need to compete. So do your job, of course, is made famous by old Bill Belichick out there. That's the only saying he has ever had is do your job. I think it covers everything. So you can't really go wrong with that. All right, Liam, talk about your senior year, being a part of this program, building up this foundation. What's it mean to you to have this kind of success this year, and what do you guys want to get done for the rest of the year?
I have pride in it. I think I'm just happy for the team and all the players and the things that we went through till we're at now. I think we made a pretty big step, so I'm happy to see that.
Nice. And you guys are having put those bricks in for the foundation, you're kind of reaping some of those rewards of the hard times. All right, John, I know you're the fiery guy. Coach said you are. Tell me about this week. Tell me about your senior season. Tell me kind of what you guys want to get done and how you're doing it to get as you get towards the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a football season quite like this one, where I am 100% confident in my squad to go out there and beat whoever we line up against. And I think it's important to recognize that. I mean, this is our chance. Not every team gets a chance to actually go do it. Everyone says they wants to, but we got something special here this year, and I think this is our time to fully buy in and sell out, and just know that whoever we line up against, no matter the situation, that we can pull out a win in every single game we play.
Nice. I love the mentality. I love that you guys, having built that foundation, get to be around for some of the success, right? And it's kind of unlimited what you guys can accomplish here as you get through this season to the playoffs. You guys sounds like you're in great shape. You guys should be proud of that for building this into something really great. I know your coaches are. I know you guys as seniors should be proud of that. And I'm looking forward to seeing the big matchup tomorrow night. So again, as we wrap this up, thank you so much, guys, for coming on. Before I do sign off, I just want to give everyone out there who's watching or listening to this just a reminder. Obviously, right? You want to click down there and on the little button down there this way. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, follow us out there. Subscribe to our podcast. Stuff like this. That's like the real stories of football of the men who don't get the stats, who don't get the interviews, who don't get the recognition, but are definitely the leading the way, the tip of the spear for success in these programs. So, gentlemen, best of luck as you get out there and you have a big end of your season, and then of course rolling into the playoffs. I'll be looking forward to seeing a lot of victories from you guys. So, thanks a lot for coming on, and I appreciate it. Good luck this week, and good luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.